Carrie Symonds and friends were alleged to have held a victory party after Dominic Cummings left his role as Boris Johnson's chief advisor. Allies of the former aide to the Prime Minister have maintained they hear a boisterous celebration in the flat where Ms. Symonds lives in Downing Street after Mr. Cummings lost his job on Friday. Reports have detailed the brutal power struggle between Ms. Symonds and Mr. Cummings in the wake of the former Vote Leave strategist's departure. The Mail on Sunday reported allies of Mr. Cummings heard Ms. Symonds' flat host a victory party after the advisor left Number 10. But friends of Mr. Johnson's fiancée have denied reports there was a celebration after Mr. Cummings left Number 10. The reports follows months of tensions between Mr. Cummings and Lee Cain, Vote Leave veterans, and Carrie's gang. The advisor's departures followed rumors they referred to Mr. Johnson's fiancée as Princess Nuts, which Number 10 denies. Mr. Johnson is said to have been enraged after he learned Mr. Cain and Mr. Cummings allegedly exchanged messages undermining Ms. Symonds. The Prime Minister ordered the pair to leave Downing Street immediately after a tense meeting, though Mr. Cain refused to confirm details. He said to the Sunday Mirror, "I'm staying out of it." Ms. Symonds and Mr. Cummings were said to be at loggerheads throughout Mr. Johnson's premiership. A friend of Ms. Symonds said, "She absolutely loathes Dom and despises Lee. When she saw her chance to get rid of them she struck." Allies of Mr. Cummings and Mr. Cain also told the Mail on Sunday that Ms. Symonds interferes in government operations. They alleged she texts Mr. Johnson up to 25 times an hour to give her thoughts on policy and leadership. After Mr. Cummings' departure from Downing Street, Number 10 is said to be preparing for the former aide to make an explosive stunt. A source close to Mr. Cummings said to the Financial Times, "I won't be surprised if there's an explosive stunt between now and Christmas. It's not Dom style just to quietly drift away." He was also said to have told allies that Mr. Johnson is indecisive and is believed to have claimed Michael Gove often showed more leadership than the Prime Minister. A key part of the row was said to be in part over Ms. Symonds' efforts to block Mr. Cain's attempts to become Mr. Johnson's new Chief of Staff, and over Mr. Johnson choosing Allegra Stratton, formerly Rishi Sunak's Director of Communications, as his new press secretary rather than Mr. Cummings and Mr. Cain's preferred choice.